everybody, it's Laurie and Leon, and we're at the Jacksonville Library in Oregon to read some books to you today. Leon is a therapy dog, and he's gone to hospitals to greet patients, and he's worked at schools, and he became a library dog, and now we have special time together, just you guys and me and Leon. I have a couple good books for you, and the first one is Just Plain Dogs. I love dogs. Some people love cats, but I love dogs and cats. I love big dogs and little dogs. And I love tough dogs and soft dogs. Look at that fuzzy little puppy. I love dogs that bark and dogs that don't. Look at that scrappy little dog barking and barking. Leon doesn't bark, except when strangers come to the door. And he barks at deer in the yard. I love dogs that play. Look at those two. They're having fun playing tug of war. And dogs that don't. I love hairy dogs and bald dogs. I like stripy dogs, and I love spotty dogs. I love slow dogs, like this Basset Hound, and fast dogs, like these greyhounds. Shabby dogs and chic dogs. Look how shabby this guy is. He's having to go through the garbage. He needs a new home. I love dogs that are good. This one has his owner's slippers in his mouth. And I love dogs that are bad. What has this dog done to that slipper? Leon, have you chewed up a slipper before? He says, no. But the dogs that I love best? Let's see. Is any dog that won't chase me. I think that this book was written by this cat. All right. Did you love dogs? The next book we're going to read today is Fritz and the Beautiful Horses. Once there was a walled city known for its beautiful horses. There were magnificent jumpers, splendid chargers, and elegant parade horses. The citizens were so proud of these horses, it was decreed that only beautiful horses would be allowed in the city. All others would have to stay outside. One of these was a pony named Fritz. Fritz was not beautiful. He had a long tangled mane, whiskers on his muzzle, short little legs, but Fritz was very gentle and kind. He was sure-footed and always willing to work. He's having a good roll in the grass. Day after day, Fritz watched the beautiful horses. Some had braided manes and tails and carried lovely ladies. Others had glossy coats and pulled grand carriages. Most of all, he watched the children's horses. So Fritz is watching the horses that the children are riding. I think he's a little bit worried. I wonder why the children look so frightened, he thought. The children were afraid. They didn't like their horses prancing and leaping. It made them very difficult to ride. As Fritz watched, he thought, I would like a child to ride me. But no one ever noticed Fritz. One day, he climbed up to the road leading to the walled city. He tried to take a long, graceful stride, and he pranced and curved his neck, and he threw his tail into the air. See how fancy he's trying to make himself look? The citizens stared at Fritz, and then they began to laugh. Look at that silly horse, they said. Then the lovely ladies and the magnificent gentlemen galloped away towards the walled city. The children followed reluctantly behind. I guess I do look silly, thought Fritz, and he hung his head in despair. Fritz listened to the citizens as they galloped their horses faster and faster. He heard their loud cheers as they rode onto the bridge toward the walled city. All of a sudden, he heard a loud snap. The bridge was breaking under the weight of the horses' pounding hooves. Fritz saw a large crack in the center of the bridge. The citizens were on the other side, and the children were on the other. You'll have to cross through the river, the citizens said to their children. But look how steep that is. Would you want to ride a horse down into that river? Not one that jumped around and was prancy. But the children wouldn't move. My horse might shy and buck, one said. My horse might leap and stumble, said another. We might fall off. They all cried together. Stay where you are, shouted the citizens. We will come to get you. But their horses wouldn't move. This hill is much too steep, thought one horse. My lovely mane might be tangled in the bushes, thought another. We certainly don't want to get wet, all the horses agreed. They don't want to go down there either. Who's going to save the day? Everyone wondered what to do. Then they noticed Fritz. Fritz carefully climbed to where the children waited. He's climbing down into that river. Fritz was not beautiful. but he was gentle and kind. He was sure-footed and always willing to work. The children were not afraid to ride him. One by one, Fritz carried the children carefully down the steep hill. He calmly stepped through the river from rock to rock and up the other side. Look how happy that little girl is. She has a sure-footed pony to ride. He finally carried all the children to the walled city. A great cheer went up from the citizens. The lovely ladies cried, "Hooray for the sure-footed pony!" The gentleman said, "How kind and dependable he is." All of a sudden, they're thinking that this pony might be very nice to have around. So what happens? And the children exclaimed, "We didn't fall off." So Fritz was given a special place in the walled city. All the children cared for him and became his friends. From that day on, the walled city was known for its beautiful horses and its very dependable pony. See how they've got him all brushed and clean, and he has a beautiful blanket. And the children love him. The end. Thanks so much for joining us today. Leon and I had fun reading to you. That's kind of a trick to show you before we leave. You know how one book we had to make eye contact? Watch this. Leon, look. Look. Have your choice. Good boy. Thanks, guys. See you soon.